So, questions?
Is it because of it's like television, that's the thing homes, as many more here, as many zero one day. So I mean, number of Christina, Mano, which or some days I give to neighbors. So, that is about.
Funso yamba lokhudzana ndi zone kuti kodi vuto ndi the content kapena kuonerako. In other words, mwina ngati content kuti ndikumveseni kutanthauza tekeze mwina kuonera zolakwika kapena vuto ndi kuonerako. Yeah, that's your question, eh? Okay. Chinthu chimene timaonera chimatengera ndi mmene chinajambulidwira. So chikhozo khala chabwino koma choti sitinajambulidwe bwino, and then chikhozanso khala choyipa. Now chikakhala choyipa ndi choyipa, chabwino chosajambulidwa bwino ndi choyipanso. So ngati chojambulidwa bwino, I just mean take for example, he's using camera imene akuyuzayo, and then there's also another camera they were using. So akuyuza makamera awiri or pena atatu. So makamera acha, each one is recording in the same presentation. Ndimene apangira kama jambula nyimbo. So you have many cameras, or mwina 1 2 ajambula pano, kena akajambula kunyanja, ena akajambula malo siyana, and then ayene akuti ayipange edit film ya nyimboyo. So in the nyimbo yabwino say Advent Hope, and so it will show them kunyanja, it will show them kusochi, and it will, most of the times imapezeka kuti frame imene kuonesa kunyanja ndi frame ionesa mu highway ndi frame ionesa pa chalichi zikusinthana kwambiri. As in 2 seconds you have another frame, and 2 seconds you have another frame. Zimene zimadwalisa. Okay. Zimene zodwalisa. So not only kudwalisa koma it hypnotizes. So ngati hypnotizes nchimozimozi kuja chamba just by the changing ya rapid ya ma frames. So you can see kuti ngakhale chabwino koma before sitinajambulidwe bwino chikhoza kuyambisa nthenda like hypnotism. So it depends on manager jambulidwira. Another one can be now chilichonse chimene timaonera, we are looking at a screen, and this screen pamene kuonesa apo chimene mukuonacho si chimene, I mean we are just looking at a light. This is just a light. Ndi ma lights atatu amene akungosakanikirana ndi kumaonesa picture yo. So concentration on a light for a long time imaononga maso. So pacho kukhazi chimenecho chikhozo khala chodwalisa because we look at a light. So normally ngati nyumba ndekuti we are nyumba and we are watching a screen, and every day that's what we are doing, it can be chodwalisa. So even when you are watching like a presentation, it is advisable because whatever presentation you are watching, imachepesa the blinking rate. Okay, maso amene awazita blink, ukakhala panja apa maso amachita blink natural. Koma choonera nthawi zambiri you don't blink, and your blinking rate 40 achepa, maso asatsukika as much as they should. So it can be also that. So mina fusemeo tiliyanke jote. Ellen White analemba, for example, kunaya kuti munthu kudya kwambiri can produce a feverish in the system. In other words, imayambisa mafiva kungodya kwambiri, that is kukhuta kwambiri. So achipata asangadziwe zoti foti munthu akhuta kwambiri angompeza ndi fever ampasa mankhwala amalungo, in which case ndiye kuti tekeze munthu ali ndi fever, chinthu chimodzi ungomuuza kuti mwina akhale pa fasting mwina a day or 2 and drink plenty of water, then we can see kuti ikuyenda bwanji. It can just be mwina kudya kwambiri. So it's normally the breaking of the 8 laws. So most of the times munthu amene ali ndi vuto kamwina a pain wabwera chipatala sichikunena kuti vuto lake ndi chani. For my part, I'll just go through with them on the 8 laws of health. Nutrition, mmadya chani, mmadya nthawi yanji, mmagona, zonse zija, you will find my mistakes all the time. Everywhere you go, new start does not fail. You will always find a mistake, always. And just dwell on it. Here's a lady, I mean, anandilembera just yesterday. So let me just read it. Okay. So anandilembera yesterday. This is a lady from Zimbabwe. And hello. I have a problem of a lump in my left breast under the armpit. So I went through various scans, but nothing was found. All cancer tests were negative. So I am worried because it is painful and itching too much. 2, my BP is too high. And here, Zimbabwe, there is no medication in pharmacies. So if there is any herb for that, I will appreciate. So this is the wrong approach. So this is what I said. Good morning. Okay. The lump indicates toxicity in your system. That is, certain poisons are failing to move out or be eliminated. Besides, it also indicates that your lymphatic system and circulatory system are not perfectly circulating. You therefore do not necessarily need a herb, rather to restore circulation. In other words, the problems indicate a lifestyle you will need to change so as to ensure long-term health. Otherwise, even if you will be well today, the problem, or a different one, and more deadly one, may flare up in future if no changes are made to the lifestyle. Depending on what you do, I therefore recommend these simple remedies. Number 1, brisk exercise each day for 30 minutes. Number 2, a vegetarian and nutritious diet with no snacking between meals. Work towards having but 2 meals each day only. Number 3, proper sleeping and waking cycle, 7 to 8 hours each night, starting from around 9 p.m. latest. Number 4, cleanliness of body free from cosmetics and clothing. Number 5, intake of plenty of water between and not with the meals. Number 6, a firm trust in God that He will do what He promises in His word. Number 7, temperance in all things. In order to follow these, I attach a document that we wrote in which I have explained this well. So I sent it to her. I say thanks. So I do believe if she follows the New Start principles, she'll be well. Even if sakumpeza ni matenda. All right. Any other question?
And mafuna ndifuse nawo za kugona. Mwati tizigona hours almost 6 to 7. But then my worry ndi akuti tikaona ma successful people in the world, they are not sleeping enough time. And even when we read at the history of pioneers, ajinera njiwa iti amatuza kuti mwina amataya kumapanga Bible study the whole night. So I'm wondering, kune kuti kusagona with it occasion, kapena it's all the time, kune kuti tizigona ma 7 to 8 hours.
All right, so just to get your question once again, you want to understand why we should sleep 7 to 8 hours. Pomwe 1, successful people in the world, some are gonna 7 to 8 hours. And then 2, my pioneers, we can say some are gonna 7 to 8 hours. I'm gonna bend your chep and get why. Is that the question? Even Yesu Kristo akone kauda makaya ndi nthawi zina usiku umene amachita spend in prayer. So mwina Yesu poti ndiye chisanzo chathu ndi amenenso tingamuyikeponso kuti achite add weight to the question. Koma choyamba mwina that CEO wa Apple zinake Steve Jobs analochuka wina wake wa satanic. Amazitcha kuti ndi wa satanic, so that's why I'm saying so. So Steve Jobs anafa, that should be 2017, if not 2016. Akufa, but deathbed back, anayankhula mawu. Kunaya kuti ndi ndalama zambiri kwa basi. But I cannot buy life. Ndinakadziwa I would have spent my time pursuing life and not wealth. So zikutengera ndi your interest. We Adventists, choyambira tili kochepa kuziko lino lapansi. We are just too few. And then, mwama Adventist yo, amene amakhala ndi chidwi ndi uthenga wa angelo atatu, ndi ochepanso kwambiri. We are too few to die too soon. Okay? Ena, samakhala ndi ntchito ndi, okay, tekeze sili kudya moyenera. It's like, okay, fine. Mwina nzadwa, mwina nikamanza kufika zaka 60, it's okay. Kama si, Satana akupanga da. He knows, if each one of us anakhala ndi a life yofika tekeze 80. And then, Satana apangisa zoti wina aliyense by 60, stroke. Or mwina paralysis. Kandi khunyu, kandi chani. By 60, wina aliyense adwale chotero. So wina aliyense waife ametili muno. By 60, and kuti our labors atha. We can have 20 more years and kumati samalira and we die. We will not be laboring for Christ. We are robbing God of 20 years of service. And we are robbing our fellow men of 20 years of service. If we had known kuchepa kwa anthu ndi kufunikira kwa nthawi ndi ntchito, would preserve the health so much. Okay. So if I ntchito yathu, I would put it kuti ndikofunikira kuti munthu upange anything kuti ukakhale ndi moyo wathanzi choyamba. Now, kugona. Masiku amene Yesu Khristu amakhala ma nights of prayer. Ndi masiku amene Anayi White amakhala ma nights of prayer. Ndi masiku amene ife anobs tinkakhala ma nights of prayer are exceptions to the rule. As a rule, tikuyenera kumagona 7 to 8 hours. Koma, there might be times when tiyenera kumakhala ndi nthawi za nights of prayer and nights of Bible studies. So there were exceptions to the rule. So that amakhala choncho all the time. Ministry of Healing, pokamba za Yesu Kristu, it says so. Christ never broke any hair throw. Okay, he never broke it. So that's what he would do. In terms of my pioneers, well, I would put it now with Ngadian White. Okay, let's give an example of James White. James White was anakonda kugwira ntchito kwambiri osapuma. And James White died. Kuzokawerenga mu life sketches of N. White, year 1915. So James White died. James White atafa. God told Ellen White kuti sangamuzuse James White. Chifukwa akamuzusa, he would go back to breaking the hair throws by overworking. God doesn't like overworking. But James White anadwala kangapo. Actually, pomafika wafa mwina adapanga ma stroke of 4. Ma stroke ayesifa chakuja. He was overworking. Nenga kale Mungu amtumizira othenga. Akangochira uyo effort. You know? Tawi zonse, he would write, he would do this, and he would sleep late. Ndi atafa anamuzusa because he was overworking. God wants to be true to his law. And then I would put it kuti tizigona 7 to 8 hours. Tizigo.
Nkhani ndoti no. Ndimathandi ndikamadusa usiku vota anthu akutanoda chani mapono. Ndedzulo mazanena chimene chimachitika kubongo wa munthu wabwinobwino ndi mubongo wa munthu otino akone mapono. Manoto munthu wabwinobwino umakhala wabwinobwino pamene enayo umakhala boka. Then ntapita nalephera kuwalongosola anzanga chifukwa choti sinamvetsetse bwinobwino pa zosadira za munthu amene ubongo wake waboka kuti chimachitika nchani kwenikweni kwa munthu ngati amene sinamvetse bwinobwino. Ndimafuna Mungu ndibwerezerako kuti no
mukalongosolera. Alright, I think mugamba za kukhuza ndi pamene timagambira za pornography and my results amene awachitika to the depression imene wachitika in the brain ndi kuti ubongo umaonongeka. Chimene mkawerenga quotation ya the head decays inward and then we showed pep scan ya bongo umene unali ndi magap. That's a point. Oh, okay. Okay. First ndikambe a testimony. So tinali kumakande and a certain young man came. Kumakandeko atandipeza anachokera ku chakumbandangao nde so anatamva zoti kuna medical missionaries kumakande nde anachova njinga chache kufika kumakande a Seventh Day Adventist nde anandiuza ona kuti akakhala mu church mbusa nkumalalika munthu nkumalalika anthu ndikumapanga zimene zimachitika ku church kusogolo anthu aja amangoaganizira zoyipa amongenza mwina atangotenga mpeni aliyense kumangomupeka pang'ono aka munthu aja akulalika ndi kuti akumuganizira ndingumpanga chako. It was so bad moti he decided kuti asiye kupita ku church. So amandiuza kuti ineyo ndikukhulupirira kuti ndi mademon. Anthu samadziwa timacheza bwinobwino koma something is wrong with my mind. I hate church and I hate churchgoers. Atangoyankhula chotero, so I asked him a question. Do you masturbate? So he said yes. Why are you asking? I said I know. Well, my demo is fine. Akumita control. Koma akumita control because of masturbation. And hamena majita masturbation zima wajitikira zimene. That's the first one. The second one. Panopa ndi chifukwa cha kukumbana ndi ambiri. Omapanga masturbation chani. Ndikayangana audience. Ndi madziwa. Uyu mina kuonekera amapanga. So amadziwika. Munthu amene amapanga masturbation amayiwala kwa basi. Now why kuyiwala? It means kuti my cells okumbukiraja ndi kuti mulibe mwet afa. Those are the gaps. Zimabowo zimene zikuoneka zija. Alright. And before chimene even to make connections because nzeru, our brain is so plastic. Ima sinta malingana ndi my experience and what you are studying. For example, I have a case. Maguma ndi patient winake week or the other week, and this family anayi ndi mwana. Ndiye mwana wache anayi ndi brain tumor. He died some years ago. Koma manduza za experience. So anayi ndi brain tumor. Nde atanchosa the brain tumor kuchipata pamene panachosera brain tumor apo panayi ngati pali kambo. Nde anaganiza achipata kuti ayikepo a plastic. Then kenaka achite cover if anaita kuchosa scar yapa kungoipanga ndi kuichosa. So anayika a plastic and then ndikuzaika chigalagazacho. Okay. Then apeza kuti mwanoja pamene paja pakumabwera ngati fluid accumulation. So amene kuti azipopedwa kena inafika kuti okay akuyenda sakampange another operation. Ndaipata jana zapita ndikukachosa chigalagazachi. Anapeza kuti the plastic was not there. The brain pamene panachoka chumai, that part ya chumai inali part of a brain. And inali yochita control chinthu china chake chathupi. And that part still has to be controlled. And the brain created new dendrites ndikuchita cover the plastic pamwamba waponsepa, but they couldn't see the plastic, such that the doctors said they could not operate, and then the child died sometime later. So my point is the brain is plastic. Nzeru zimachokera in terms of kulumikizana kwa kupanga kwa ma dendrites ambiri, not necessarily kukhala ndi ma neurons ambiri. Kukula mutu sikukhala ndi nzeru. That's what I mean. But if you know uli ndi half a brain, But that brain, you are exerting it. It will create new dendrites. For example, Albert Einstein, he had a brain problem. And, but when he died, he donated his brain to one of the colleges of medicine in America. It has been a studied brain for years. One thing is he had a very small brain. He had very few neurons, but he had many dendrites. All right? So anali 10 because of the dendrites. Now, formation of dendrites depends on what you are feeding the brain and what you are feeding in your zakudya zimene timadya. Now, chifanyo now, for example, TV. TV makes you not to think. Zone? Kamera simudziwa. Okay. As you are watching what somebody is telling you. Zikuchitika. All right? So once you start watching TV, studies show the very first 2 minutes, after the very first 2 minutes, from there, the frontal lobe shuts down. You don't think. All right? So TV prevents thinking. It prevents the formation of dendrites. And 2, imapangisa kuna kuti nde kuti to feed mbali mene ikuchita ili active icha, you need nutrition. So imama echa shanting, achibata echa shanting. Magaza muthupi mwathu sizoti ndokwanira mbali zonse za thupi lathu. Muna kuti muinveste bwino. So if you have a bottle ya madzi, nde madzi acha kuti azita circulate. Ikuyenera kuti madzi osati azaze ndendende. Madzi osachita circulate. So muyenera muchoseko pang'ono kuti kenaka madzi azita circulate. So again, if you have a body, anakauta ikawo magazi onse okwanira, magazi osamachita circulate. So if you need 6 liters, maybe God puts 5 liters in it, so that magazi can circulate. Now, kumene kumakhala magazi ambiri, ndi kumene kula activity ambiri. Nde magazi amatha kuberana, I mean, ma organs amatha kuberana. Ngati organ inake ili very active, imeneyo ndi imene imaba magazi azinzake. Now, tikamaza kamba za water and nutrition, ndizazikamba bwino in terms even of water. So amaberana. Pachifukwa chimenecho, it means kunaya kuti the brain, the limbic part of the brain, because it is the one which is very active, pazimene tikuona. Pachifukwa chimenecho ndi imene imatenga most of the blood, so it shunts the blood from other areas, especially from this center of the brain. Pachifukwa chimenecho, this center of the brain silandira nutrition yoyikulisa. Pachifukwa choti sikukula izikhala ndi magapu. Amene amaonekaja. And above that, for example, nyimbo ili yonse imene yovinika also shuts the frontal lobe. Ine iliyonse kandi auzimu kasi auzimu ili yonse yovinika. It shuts this frontal lobe, and the blood again drains to the limbic system. Whereas if you listen, for example, to classical music, the blood goes to the executive center of the brain. When classical music and they dissect their brain, they will find that before they listen to, after listening, after 2 weeks, the brain has grown, has enlarged. If you want to have zero, listen to classical music, something like that. So in classical music, in Durantauza, well, kumai kunonde muzimvera za dolika, mimi ngatera. Zama kwaya, the classical. All right, it's not really classical. There's classical music, you can get it. All right, so have I answered it? Oh, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Inet, and the talking about presentation ya mbirira yazo mazuro muja. Nazagamba bozokuza ni ma video games. Nagamba bozokuza ma video games. Would you know?
Video games.
Yeah, video games. Would you know? Amabanga affect like memory ya muntu, like memory that is affecting the brain. It. Then nazabanga bolisije know how to improve like memory. That anayika bosungali kugona mokwanira yani. Anazabanga bosenkolo know doing something that is yani challenging. It my pasa brain to do something that is yani challenging. It and abanga bo including ngadi ma games. It know muna kupuza kwa game inagi. It like muna ngadi chess ja kumasu kikayo know ukamabanga ba just a bit challenging. Never push a game, you push a game. They know with the idea, and I was like, they know the Jamagambas and they have no Sukaban. For so in and they were Supangonges, Aba, could you know, the Gamon in our TV, could you know, Ima, Bank Salimuntu, after for some time musekuganiza ndemati is that everything imene timaonera pa TV imene mapangisa kuti no we should stop thinking because pali maojenera for example utakhala munakuonera presentation ya magoodman mmene jamakhala mavesi jani and you try mnasomwa pa kumawerenga bible lako while you are jani you are watching mayipanga pose choncho and even for example za schools you can even understand into better kutakhala muna kuona the visual side of it than kungojiwerenga through my words. There is it everything on the TV or no? Just fixtures. I'm not. I want it to be a bit clear.
So I think what I'm seeing is Phunzira TV in the music. I mean, I should also do Phunzira TV in the music. That's a better one. We should just do Phunzira TV in the music. Couldn't the Yankee way? I think that will create, will answer your questions. But maybe I may die this week, so I need to answer your question. Is it Fuso Ili Rotiriza Itambira TV? Is it everything that we watch for TV Chichola? No. And I think in Darongo so I couldn't know that we are watching TV. This is TV somehow. A laptop is TV. So we are watching. But my point I was trying to say is, we cannot claim 100% that a laptop is a healthy product. It is not. God did not create us to be watching a light. It is not. So my laptop is just a fact. So it's not really teach it is not healthy. However, potenge one tili society. For example, imene sungalalike opanda a PowerPoint masikwa and sabwera by effort. So there are certain things we can do. We still can do them. Come you can lessen the evil imene from them. So you can go out after an hour and then you continue watching. So you can't be watching all day, Magoodman, for example. So you're right. And it is not menda inamuja, it's my frames are jangada kubera mwansanga. Now, as they shoot a presentation, most of the times, the presentation, see mustn't have my frames. If they concentrate the camera on me like this, for a 10-minute session, so as it is doing so, it cannot hypnotize anyone. But it is when my seconds were earlier, akuchitika mwansanga pamene makhayo tikoza kuyambisa hypnotism. But I will explain more on that one kamaza kamba za media. Your first question, will you just remind me? Or improvement, like in terms of games. For example, take a video game is challenging. For example, could you mean a challenging video game? Now, Anyamata, kufusira nkazi, is it challenging? It is challenging, right? Kufusira nkazi is challenging. Okay, my point is, chintu challenging can be a bad one or a good one. You can't say, if we want challenges, then we should take anything. You can have good challenges and bad challenges. So a video game is indeed challenging. But it is not challenging if you look at it logically. Amenadapanga the video game ndi muntu. So akukulekeza panzeru ya muntu amenadapangayo. Ukamakanika akukuseka wamene kuti sungafikire paye. It is not challenging. It's God amena in the infinite wisdom amena ali challenging. Because we cannot reach nzero zake. So every time there is opportunity for continual growth. That is not the case with video games. 2, a video game is challenging mentally. See, challenging physically, and this is a hotel. You can have my games. I mean, really challenging. You can have a game. Muntu mpira, for example, or muntu balloon. So muyema, ndeti ambe kuyenda. So muzienda unawadi uyakabira kusogolo, uyu akhalenso kuti akuyenda chimozimozi kuti baluni isagwe. That's challenging. Paka ngoyenda mwansanga chigwa. Iwenso kuyenda mwansanga kwambiri muchiphulisa. So ngoyenda muziyenda mwabwino kwambiri. That's a challenging game. It is a game. It is challenging, but you can do that. So that's an example. All right. See,